Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Heavy Cardboard. Tonight we are busting out Automobile, designed by Martin Wallace, published by, well, Tree Frog Games is the edition we're playing. Mayfair also did an edition of the game. This is arguably one of his best games. I don't think it's arguably. I think it is one of his best games, just where it ranks in the list, in the hierarchy. That'll be up for individuals to decide. So I'm your host, Edward Euler. Happy to be joined by a couple of new faces to y'all, but some very good friends of mine.
I'm Scott.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Martin.
All right, so like I said, Automobile, Martin Wallace. Now, we streamed this just over 2 years ago, and I did a full teach of it there. So we're not going to do that tonight. Instead, I'm going to give an overview, and we're going to just straight bust it out. Now, you were talking before we streamed, Martin. You've played this, what?
This is my fourth time.
I've played it maybe 10 times or so, and y'all?
About a half a dozen.
About 10.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we're all pretty well versed in the game. Far from experts, but yeah. So there you go. That's it. Automobile, 4-player. Ideally, 4 or 5 players, I would say. This is where this game shines at. And I think the last stream was at 5 players, so it works out that this is 4.
I prefer 5, I think. But
I think I do, too, but I think it plays pretty well at 4. And so... No, I was going to make a bad joke. Never mind, I'm not going to make a bad joke. Anyway,
Thank you.
I'm going to bring the chat and the cameras down just for the quick overview, and then I'll bring them up and we'll get started. So here we go. All right, so Automobile. Ultimately, the goal of the game is to make the most money. So Scott was kind enough to let us use his special limited edition money along with my copy of the board. So the wooden money from Martin Wallace that is... arguably impossible to get now. Instead of tiddlywinks or poker chips, we're using the Martin Wallace fancy wooden money. But the goal of the game is to have the most money at the end of the game. We each start with 2,000 bucks, 2,000 quid, 2,000 pounds, 2,000 we each start with. Whoever has the most money at the end of 4 rounds will win. So, as I mentioned, the game takes place over 4 rounds or 4 turns. Within each turn, there is a series of kind of 11 different steps that we're going to have throughout every round. Each round is going to follow the exact same series of steps: drawing demand tiles, selecting characters, then 3 rounds of actions in which we can choose from a handful of actions. Then the special abilities, some of these will trigger, i.e. Howard. Then we will sell via distributors. Then we will choose executive decisions. Then we will sell via demand tiles. Then we will figure out our losses and then basically grab all our stuff back, rinse and repeat, move that along, do that 4 rounds. Whoever has the most money wins. So to break it down a little bit more in detail, we are going to be opening factories. Factories are these colored tiles or colored wooden, the same size as the money here. These are going to be our factories. We're going to be opening factories to develop, starting in the very top left-hand corner, various types of automobiles. Then, through the use of distributors, as well as the demand tiles that we're going to be drawing, we're going to be selling cars that we produce within our factories. Hopefully nailing the amount of cars, both maximizing our return but as well as minimizing losses. However, there is a bit of randomness or a bit of randomness as well as a bit of an unknown, because these demand tiles, we're going to know approximately a quarter of the information. Since there are 4 players, each of us are going to draw 1 or 2 tiles, and then there may be an additional tile that gets drawn. So we will know some of the demand, but we won't know perfect information with that. Outside of that, I think as we hit each of the steps, we'll talk about it all in detail. I think when we begin for the first action round, I'll go ahead and list what the actions are, talk about them briefly, and then we'll begin that. But other than that, I think that's enough to go ahead and get us started. So anybody, I know there's no questions here at the table. Anything else that I should highlight before we get started, y'all?
I don't think so.
No, I'm
It was pretty thorough.
ready to go.
I think maybe the number for the tiles.
Okay, the tiles range from 2 to 5. So there's 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, 4 5s. There you go. So, hey, we're back. There we go. Other than that, I think we actually go ahead and get started. We need to randomize turn order, so Martin probably brought his deck of cards.
I brought a cardboard schwazi, yes, to aid the process. Of course, the cards are going to have trouble coming out, but there we are. I'll just take a set of them.
All right, so draw a card.
Shiny, yes.
All right, so that'll be the order. So 6 is first. 6 is the high card, really? So purple first, yellow second, which is not me,
the only
and
thing
then
that
3 of
wins
clubs is lower than the 3 of spades, so
Yep.
it will be like so. There we go.
Yep.
That will be our turn order. All right, so cool. So we have turn order. So the first thing that's going to happen, and here, let me go ahead and zoom in there. So that is really big. So for the first turn, at least, we're going to move it here because the camera's blocking it. So the first thing we're going to do is draw demand tiles. So we are in the first round. And in the first round, which is shown right, or first turn as shown right there, it shows that there is going to be demand tiles and demand for the mid-range cars only. So we have the luxury cars, we have the mid-range cars, and we have the budget or low-range car. So for the first round, we are only going to draw 1 demand tile. It's going to be secret and for the mid-range car. So here we go. All right. So technically, it should be done in turn order, but whatever. It's random.
You've been doing it. Turn order.
Fair. All right. Go ahead, Martin. So how many of y'all out there have played this before? Obviously, a couple of the folks here already have chimed in. So, okay. So if everybody could look down for a moment, I will go ahead and share with everybody at home. There. That is my demand tile. Okay, we're good. So my demand tile, y'all know, so you know what information I have. So what that means is I now know that there are between 2 and 5 cars that are definitely going to have demand for us collectively to sell when we get to the selling via demand tiles over there. So that first phase is done. Go ahead and move it over. The next one is going to be select characters. All right. So there are 6 different characters here for the moguls of the time for car manufacturers. So Ford, Kettering, Sloan, Howard, Durant, and Chrysler. We are going to choose these in turn order. Turn order is as we see it. Once we are done selecting our characters, which all have a special ability, turn order is then going to be in left to right from Ford to Chrysler. So this is the choosing of character order, and then the rest of the round is going to be based on what it is that our characters are going to, that we choose. Not only is it turn order, they all have a special ability. There are, there are
R&D cubes.
R&D cubes, which are going to allow us to move up factories, to move them further along and have more advanced factories as we go along. Some of them will have them. As you'll notice that Howard does not have any, and we put them up above because white on white is a little hard to see. In addition to that, Ford allows you to build 1 extra factory whenever you build factories. So normally you're allowed 1 or 2. We'll talk about that more. Kettering just gets you 3 R&D cubes. Sloan allows you to have your loss points because loss points are going to cost you money at the end of each round. So less loss cubes, the more money or the less money you have to pay. Howard allows you to sell 2 cars off the top. In the first round, this is the only way that luxury or budget cars are going to be allowed to be sold. Except for distributors as well, thank you. Durant says, as soon as you choose them, you build build a new factory immediately in the first of, or the lowest available check that. You can build it anywhere. You can build it anywhere. I apologize. Based on the number of R&D cubes that you wish to choose or spend realistically between 0 and 6. but you do it immediately when choosing Durant. And finally, Chrysler allows you to discard loss points, which is very similar to Sloan. Sloan allows you to discard half, rounded up. Whoa, not ageist theme. Chrysler allows you to discard 1, 2, 3, or 4 based on the number, the round number that it is. And these little markers here are to remind you that you have that character. So without further ado, here we go. Purple, you're up. Choose.
Okay. We're going to grab Chrysler's start. If you want to slide that down there.
So going last lets you know what it is that
I get to see what everybody else is doing.
everybody else is doing.
Thank you.
There we go. All right. And Scott always plays yellow, and I thought since this is your first time on stream, I would defer to you, good sir. So there you go.
Thank you very much. I know we're both big fans of yellow.
We are. Shrey says glad Scott gets to play yellow. Seems appropriate to me. And I tried to wear a green shirt so people can put 2 and 2 together.
I'll go with Sloan. I mean with Howard. Because I don't think anybody's going to choose Durant for their first round, and I don't want to be early in the turn order.
And for me, that's what I was going to choose was Howard. I had a plan for this coming into the game, sort of.
Yeah, it was when choosing the initial character. There's not really a strong decision because there's no random setup to base on. I think Sloan is particularly useless because getting rid of lost cubes is less useful in the first round.
Unless you play like Scott did on Saturday.
Okay.
Well, yes, Scott would have definitely made use of Sloan on Saturday, has to be said. So, which one to go with? I think Kettering's kind of a bit boring, the 3 what's-it cubes, and then not much more else. I'm actually toying with Durant. I was kind of thinking, I wouldn't mind going for that, but I think I'm actually going to go with Ford and go with the mighty Ford.
Get a cube too.
Yep. Thank you.
And for myself, having more R&D to be able to jump out to the I failed to do this really well on Saturday. I had a lot of extra R&D cubes left over at the end of the game. And for the same reasons, Sloan doesn't really excite me at this point, and Kettering is the same as Sloan for the first round, at least from a sense that you don't have a whole lot of lost points. So you might as well get the extra R&D cubes since it's still going to be second in turn order. Durant, however, it would allow me to open a new factory immediately. Now, everybody starts with 3 R&D cubes. Durant also gives 1 extra. To be able to open a factory, if you'll point, Craig, or thank you. So it costs 1 R&D cube for the first past the most recent or most forward progressed factory. So there is none. So the Duria there, or Duria, I guess, is the first one. So that's going to cost 1 R&D cube there. To go to the Oldsmobile Curve Dash would cost 2 additional for a total of 3 R&D cubes. To go to the Franklin Model A, that would be 3 more cubes for a total of 6. So on and so forth, then it would be 4, then 5, etc., as you go along. So keep that in mind. So I do have enough R&D cubes to be able to go and start with, say, the Oldsmobile Curve Dash, but I really don't like the idea of doing that. Instead, I think I will go ahead and take the 3 there for Kettering and call it good. So nobody chose Durant, nobody chose Sloan, and that's that. So now we are done choosing characters. Now we are action round 1. So there are a total of 5 different actions that you can take on your turn for each of these. You may do any of them in any order. You can do the same one multiple times if you wish. The choice is up to you. The first thing you can do is take 2 R&D cubes from the supply. So add 2 to what you have here already. Pretty simple. That's pretty straightforward. The second thing you can do is place distributors. Everybody has 8 distributors here. The distributors will go out here into the holding boxes for either the luxury, the mid-range, or the budget cars. And then when we get to sell via distributors, we will then physically move them over here into the boxes for the various distributors. Now, if you'll notice that each of the distributors box has a number in it that ranges from 1 to 4 or 3 to 4. That's what rounds they become available, or that they are available. So in the first round, you'll notice there are 4 budget, there are 3 mid-range, and there are 3 luxury. All right. Whenever you place a distributor, if you place it up here, it can only go to that block or one adjacent. So at the top, the only thing adjacent to it is top or middle. If you put it in the middle, it's adjacent to everything. So in the first round, everyone's going to place them in the middle. But there is only so many slots available. Again, there are 3, there are 6, there are 10. However, there are only going to be demand tiles for mid-range cars, so be careful. When you place, you're allowed to place up to 3 distributors. So you can place 1, 2, or 3 distributors when you do so. But again, there are 10 spots, but really there are only 3 for cars that are for sure likely, or for sure going to sell. The next thing you can do is build a factory. Pretty simple. Face value, whatever the value is on that factory, obviously following the same rules, starting in the top left corner, going clockwise from there. You can build 1 or 2 factory. Everybody has 6 factories. In addition, everybody has 1 parts factory. The parts factory costs $500 regardless of the cost shown for the car. And what that does is that when we go to produce cars, it costs $20 less for every car that you produce. Okay? But the important thing to note is the number of factories and the type of car that you're manufacturing. Let's just talk about the mid-range. If you have 1 factory and you choose to produce cars, which is the next action we're going to talk about, you must produce 1 to 3 cars. If you have 2 factories, you must produce 4 to 7 cars. You cannot choose to produce less, nor can you choose to produce more, etc., etc. You can always choose to not produce in a given factory, but of a given model of car. But every factory, when you choose to produce for that model, must produce. And finally, the last thing you can do is close down a factory. That's what these black blocks are going to represent. What happens? You're going to get $100 less per piece of wood that's on there, meaning minus 100 less per factory. And then we're going to close it, and it won't cost you negative at the end of the round. So there we go. So again, you can take 2 R&D cubes, you can place distributors, you can build factories, you can produce cars, or you can close down a factory. Obviously, nobody can produce cars because there's no factories, and nobody can close down factories because there are no factories. So in other words, place distributors, take R&D cubes, or build factory. And we're starting red. Go for it.
And comment in Peanut Gallery says we should actually start with 4 R&D cubes.
Everybody gets 1 more.
So
I apologize.
1 more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peanut Gallery, for spotting that.
Yep.
Okay.
Shrey and Warren.
So, first move for Ford. So I must admit, I have been thinking a little bit about how I might want to do my opening move since Saturday. On Saturday, I think pretty much we all did distributors on our first move, partly because we wanted to delay putting our factories down so as to not tip our hand to everybody else as to what we were doing.
As well as to get better factories, right? And hoping other people...
Because part of the thing is if other people put factories down, then you can kind of nudge, you're getting up the technology tree, as it were. Which I thought was a reasonable route. So then what to do with distributors? So Scott really overdid the distributor bit, which was to his downfall on the first round. But he was playing Chrysler. And Chrysler's last in turn order, who is potentially completely screwed, as Scott was, because of the fact that there's only 3 slots in mid-range. So if you're only in mid-range, you've got a very good chance of not going anywhere to put your distributor. However, I'm Ford. I go first, which means I'm guaranteed to get at least 1 distributor in play. And also, if there's any slots available after the first, everybody has placed their first slot of distributors, I'll get a second slot as well. And there is a good chance that even if people take distributors, there will be slots available because somebody's going to try and get in the first round, hopefully into this low value card. If they're really lucky, the premium cards. And if they get there, they're going to have to move their distributors into those slots in order to sell them. Unless they're Howard, of course, who can sell to those slots. So I've got a fighting chance, I reckon, of putting 2 distributors and being able to get them in. And if I don't, it's a loss cube, which is basically $100. Assuming I don't get rid of a lost cube.
Oh, at the end of the game, yeah.
Because there's 10, 20, it adds up to 100.
Oh, and it's Martin Wallace. I also forgot to mention there's loans. don't take the loans if you can help it. Get 500, pay 600 back at the end of the game. You're allowed max of 2.
Plus interest.
Plus the interest
And you have to
every
pay
round.
interest, yeah. Don't
50
do
bucks
both.
interest.
Right, $50 every
Yeah.
turn.
But I'm actually wondering about being even a bit more aggressive than this. And this is the rationale I was thinking about beforehand. I was thinking, the thing is, even if I only place 2 distributors, what that's saying is that nobody else is going to be able to put more than 1 distributor into the mid-range, guaranteed, right? Because even if only one other person has a distributor, I'm going to get 2 slots.
Sure.
So you're only going to get 1 distributor into mid-range.
You're shaking your head no. Why?
Because
I've seen this gambit fail before.
it's basically you just got the mid-range is probably all you're going to see
Yep.
For distributors.
for
Maybe.
distributors. and
Yep.
There's going to be 2 other people.
Right.
Exactly.
So your other distributors are going to have nowhere to go.
Let me follow my logic.
Okay.
My logic is that then either you're going to go for the try and get into the low market, or if you are only going to stay in the mid-range, if you're going to plant a distributor, it's only worth planting 1 because you're never going to be able to plant more than 1.
Fair.
In which case, is it really worth spending a whole turn to plant a distributor as opposed to plopping a factory down? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And I got this feeling that, maybe people will do that and it would be actually their error because they'd be better off putting the factory down.
I did finish last.
Now, if I do that and people are scared of putting a distributor down, then if I have 3 distributors, then it would allow me to pop all 3 in, which would be an interesting route.
I would say that's highly unlikely to happen, though.
I
want to see it happen.
I would be interested to see it.
I'm dying to see that.
I'd love
I'm
to
going to
see
go
you
with
try.
2 though, because I'm pretty confident that there's a good chance that I'll get 2 in place since I'm number 1, and if I'm not, it's only 1 lost cube. I'm not so worried about that.
Fair.
So, Edward, what's it going to be?
So I could start a factory as far up as the Franklin Model A, which is the 3rd factory there. If I do that, though, I think that sets everybody else up to advance things further than I want. I'm 2nd in turn order, so I'll go ahead and throw a distributor out. So basically, where things are now, if nothing out of the ordinary happens, Martin would get 1, I would get 1, and then Martin would get another unless somebody else puts distributors out. So that's my action done.
Okay.
So now we're on to Howard.
I really think Craig's going to go for the cheap cars because he's Chrysler. So I'm just going to put 1 out.
All right. Well, there we go. So now there are 4 distributors for 3 mid-range. So obviously, one of them is going to have to go to luxury or budget. What is the technical term for the low-end cars? Do y'all know what that
Economy?
economy cars? maybe?
Cheap? I don't know.
Okay, so you 3 clowns.
Do you want to put distributors in there?
Oh, there's just yes, distributors are going in there because I think 1, 2, maybe it's
Mid-price.
1, 2.
Low price.
Oh, it is low price.
So, okay.
I
So
thought
the
I was-
budget cars, whatever.
I thought I was lazy when I made the little
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
you know what? Why not? I'm putting 3 in.
I'm sorry?
Okay, he's definitely going for the budget cars then, I reckon. He thinks he's going to make budget car, which I think is a reasonable chance.
So that now, we are now
6
into the
RDPs.
2nd action round.
Action
There
round
we
2.
go.
Back to Ford.
Okay, so I'm glad I didn't put 3 in, because I suspect not all of them are going to go into budget, because that's really we'll have to push this thing up. But 2nd was planned anyway. I am going to put 2 factories plus a parts factory. That's going to cost me $900. And I'm going to build those Durants.
Okay.
They're going to be wonderful.
So that's 250 for each of the red factories there, right?
No,
Or
200.
200.
I'm sorry, 200 each and 500 for the parts factory total.
There we are.
And that cost 1 R&D cube. Back to the supply.
Yep.
Mr. Kettering.
So he's got to sell 5 cars to make up what he's going to lose when he sells his the cheap factory produce. I forget what the name of it is. The parts factory
Right. Yeah.
Right.
to break even.
Oh, that's so tempting. It's so tempting to jump out to the Maxwell Model L up top.
That would make Scott happy. And probably me.
It would mess everybody's game up. Go for it.
I think it's worth doing to be able to put some competition out there. It potentially makes the luxury cars viable this round. But I'm worried that would help Craig too much, and he has the R&D cubes to be able to do it, assuming that Scott would then start the Sears Auto Buggy, which is the first budget car. I think that's going to be a step too far, so instead I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 R&D cubes. So 1 for the Oldsmobile and 2 for the Franklin Model A there. And I will go ahead and build 2 regular factories for the Franklin Model A. So that's going to cost me a total of $600. Pay $1,000, get $400 back. That's my action. Yellow.
Thank you.
I think I know how this is going to go.
I'm going to go cheap and just build 2 factories for the Maxwell Model L.
So that's 700. And now Chrysler.
Yep. So Chrysler is going to build the Sears Auto Buggy. And I'm going to build 2 factories, but one is going to be a parts factory. So that is going to be 800.
And that's the end of the second round. So now we are into the third action round.
So now everybody is going to produce cars, I assume.
In our third action, that
Our
tends
third action.
to be for the first round.
So now it comes the tricky question of how many to produce. So 2 other people have gone into mid-range, so I'm definitely going to get only 1 distributor in there, because the only person who can go produce distributors anywhere else is Craig, who will move all 3 of his into the low end of the market to sell there. So let's see. There's an average amount of 14, I reckon, is the median amount of demand that we're going to get, which would be 4 each, maybe 5 each. Oh, did I?
You did. It's all right, Christopher. Got it.
Oh,
You're
well,
good.
thank you, Chris.
You spent 900.
Yep,
so you
that's
should
quite
have
right. Yep, there's me not paying attention.
You're all good. I'm trying not to mess up your train of thought.
That's
I
good.
apologize.
I hate making mistakes like that at the best of times, but
It happens.
there we are. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so 14. So then that means we're going to talk about 4 or 5 on average, although there's these executive actions that can cause extra stuff to be sold. But basically, it'd be reasonably safe to take 4 or 5 of those sales. But I'm actually going to go all out and make 7 of them, which is my maximum amount.
Okay.
So I've got a good feeling about the amount of demand that's coming out.
So, mid-range, 2 factories can produce 4 to 7 cars, and you're choosing to produce 7.
Yep.
He has a parts factory. Normally they would be $70 a piece. They're $20 less each. So instead they're $50 a piece. That's $350.
$350. So that's 50.
$650 back.
Yeah.
All right. So then it's up to me. Now, this is where the demand cubes come into play. There's an average distribution would be theoretically 3.5, right?
Yeah.
So if everybody got 3.5, that would be there's 14 cars produced.
Well, for the first round, it's 3.5, but it changes as the rounds progress.
Fair. So 14 cars are going to get sold. Plus, distributors will sell some. Plus, Howard is going to sell some. So let's work our way through this. So Scott is only in the mid-range, which means 2 of the cars that he's going to produce of the, let's call it 7 that he chooses to produce, that means he has 5 left. 5, Martin has just produced 7, that's 12. Obviously, Craig is going to be producing, my guess, is 3 budget cars because he has 3 distributors. Going to put him here, and that's the only thing. So Craig's out of the equation. However, his demand tile will still be for the mid-range here. So again, assuming that we are going to have a total of 14 based on what information we have there. So then Martin's produced 7. If I were to produce, say, 5, that's a total of 12. And we're talking 14 plus these 2. So maybe Scott only produces 4. I don't know. But Scott is going to be the one that sells first. So it's going to go round robin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Except for the executive decisions, we might be selling more of those. So I feel like 5's the right number here, so I'm going to just go with it. So we're going to go 5 cars, $70 a piece. That's $350. That's $150 change. And 7 cars. I'm sorry, 5 cars. How many was that?
You're 1 shy.
Here we go.
It's over to Scott.
Okay. I'm going to produce 6 cars. That's a nice even number, and everybody could be happy.
I doubt that.
So 6 is 420?
Yep. Okay. 580 back. And I got to hand a bunch of cars to you.
Guzarino says, by the way, was Scott's price for agreeing to be on the stream that he gets to play yellow? Because that's a stone cold power move to keep Edward off kilter. I respect it. That's fair.
You did win on Saturday, so you know.
I did somehow squeak out a W.
I did
I
win
totally
this week.
faked losing just so I could get yellow.
Well, it worked.
That is also not true.
All right, so Craig, I assume 3 cars.
But to nobody's surprise at this point, I am going to produce 3 cheapos
So that'd be $150.
for 150.
No, it's cheaper. It's $30. 30 times 3.
Oh no, it's cheaper.
30,
You're right.
$90.
90, but yeah, right, because he has a parts factory there.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to sell via Howard. So who has Howard? Yellow does. Can sell 2 cars. So
So these are going to slide right here.
yep, and those will be, okay, there we go. We'll settle all this up at the end. So there we go.
That's Howard.
So now we're going to sell via distributors. So we'll go ahead and keep it right here for this part. So in turn order, red can place 1 distributor out, then green, and then yellow. And here you go, Craig. I got you.
There we go. I love it.
And now red.
Gets fired.
Well, red can place, technically.
No, he
Right?
can't because he
He
can't.
cannot.
Oh, because he
sell.
can't produce, because he
Can't
can't,
produce.
right. So, okay. So this will go back to Martin, and he gets a lost cube. A lost cube, just a little black cube. Right. There.
Okay.
And we'll settle that out here at the
Slide
at the
the
end
last
of the
2
round.
purples
And
over.
there you go, right there, and obviously that's the only one. So boom, done. So now what's going to happen is for every one of these, we're going to put a car sold over into the sold area. So go for it.
So we get a red,
A green.
we get a green, we get a yellow, and we're going to slide.
All 3 of those
3
into the
purples right
budget.
there.
Okay. Now you might be asking yourself, why are there 2 different boxes? Well, we're about to talk about that for those, because that is going to be for executive decisions. Now that we have emptied all of that, let's go ahead and move on down. The executive decisions. You, at this point, in turn order, players get to choose one of 4 things. Either the leftmost of each of these types, or to pass to be able to choose which character they want earlier next round. Close a factory. It's already produced this turn, theoretically, so you can go ahead and close it. Or you can spend 2 R&D cubes to go ahead and grab one of these markers. What this means, when I talked about the round robin, sell 1, sell 1, sell 1. This, for every one of these markers, you're going to sell 1 additional car every time it becomes your turn to sell a car. Except these cost R&D cubes. These, however, work the exact same as these, except these are going to be for the lower value, and these are discount markers. So when you choose, you always must choose the leftmost first. So you would choose both of these, put them on 1 model of car, and then whenever you sell a car, it would be, technically, you'd be selling 3 every time it goes by, but you would be putting it in the lower value area. All of your cars that you sell for that from that factory. So with that said, red, you're up. Or you pass and become earliest in turn order.
So the question is, do I want to try and sell more on each pass through? Now there's 13 cars to sell. We know the average for the demand is going to be 14. So, and I'm going to want it to be average or better to sell all of my cars since I'm last in order.
Right.
So the question is, do I feel lucky enough to do that? I'm going to take the gamble. I'm going to gamble that I'm going to get away with it. And if I don't, I'm only paying $50 anyway because I had the parts factory. So I've got relatively cheap getaway.
So you're passing. I am second. Remember, I'm green. I have 4 cars over there. So it'd be... I need there to be a total of 13 between us. I like my odds. I'll go ahead and pass.
I'm at the front of the cell line, so,
Yeah, so there's no reason.
pass.
And I have no reason to do anything other than do that.
Interesting that none of those got chosen in the first round. All right, so now we are going to sell via demand tiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our markers out here on the respective spot. Well, obviously we each only have 1, and it's only for the mid-range, so here we go.
2s. Show me 2s. Average. Give me another 2.
There we go.
Yes.
So that's going to be a total of 12 cars sold. So here we go. So we do it
I'm the
round
one
robin. So go for it, Craig.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there is 1 car left over. So now we move over to losses. How many for every car that did not sell, that manufacturer gets a loss cube. So there, and it goes back into there. So sorry, Martin. All right, so now we sell our cars. So we get cash for wherever your cars are, get it. So in other words, like Craig's getting 300
I think technically we're still in the cell.
via demand tile. Okay, you're right.
Losses is gonna be-
Technically, you are correct. You are correct.
Plus is going to be technology.
You're right. 2, 4, 6. Nope, I am not yellow.
Got yellow.
I have 5. That's 750.
I have 6, so that's 900.
I got 6 for 900 as well.
Sold 3 for 300.
750 and 250 is 1,000.
It's 100 for 1,000.
I'm at 1,800.
14 and some change.
And Martin
I'm at 14, 15, 16, 1650.
and Scott.
1780.
All right, so there we go. But now, as I was corrected, and rightly so, now we go into losses. So what happens here is now we look at every factory that is on the board. So the most cutting edge of each type of car gets no losses. However, which in this case would be the Maxwell Model L and the Sears Auto Buggy, those are the cutting edge cars for those type of cars, and obviously nobody has built any luxury yet. So no lost cubes for those. But for every one back behind it, it gets one additional lost cube. So the first one back for the Franklin Model A, i.e. me, I'm going to get one lost cube. Because regardless of the number of factories, you just get that for having older technology. Then we go back one more, which is the Duria, right? Is that how you say it? All right. Which is going to be one additional lost cube, so 2 lost cubes for Martin. Now, we skip the Oklahoma Curve Dash because nobody has a factory there, so it doesn't exist. And if it were closed, it would have existed, so it would still be older than what the Oldsmobile, I say Oklahoma, didn't I? Oldsmobile Curve Dash was. So there we go.
They were popular in Oklahoma.
They were. So that's losses. End of turn.
Got to pay for your losses.
Right. So now, for every lost cube that you have, you owe whatever it says, which is $10, unless you have Sloan, which there, or Chrysler, meaning that marker. So right here, you would get to discard 1 lost cube. You
Don't have any.
None to loss or lose, and boom, and that should go back as well. And now that that's done, these will go back into the bag to be drawn again, unless I don't want them to be, hopefully. Then the distributors will all come back to their respective rows. Wherever they were placed, they go into that row for the subsequent round. The one that Martin had to remove, well, he has to place back out there if he wants to do so. So that is the end of the first round. Now we're going to go into the second round. The second round, the difference here is we're going to draw 2 demand tiles. Here, the lower value that you draw for everybody is going to be for the budget-minded cars, and the higher value for everybody will be the mid-range. And there we go. I can stop teaching at this point, I think, pretty much.
Looks like someone knows about square dancing in Oklahoma.
That is not a knowledge I would like to acquire.
All right, everybody look down for
Nor
a moment.
something that you'd want to admit.
So there we
That
go.
too.
Those are the 2 demands. So that will be for the budget. That will be for the mid-range. Done. Okay. So everybody has drawn. Go ahead and raise yours. Bring yours. There you go. Perfect. All right. So there, and now selecting characters. Starting with red. This is the same order as last time.
Do we want to put some R&D cubes?
R&D cubes out there.
Good idea. So, well, my first move, so carefully thought out and planned, was an absolute disaster. So that's nice to know. Very cunning. It was a cunning plan in true Baldric fashion.
Sounded good, though.
It did sound good, didn't it? But, oh well. Things sometimes sound good and end up being a complete disaster. And I've got 4 lost cubes, which is more lost cubes than anybody else. So if we were playing for lost cubes, I'd be doing well. But we're not, so I'm not. So that kind of makes Sloan immediately rather attractive, because you could get rid of a few lost cubes. And I'll probably acquire more lost cubes, because I have a factory. I may, of course, want to close it down, but on the other hand, it is a factory that's got the parts factory sitting in there. So it's actually, I'm fairly committed to that factory because it produces stuff on the cheap, which is nice. And it's basically, I'm going to be losing $300 when I close that.
That is true, but if you choose further up the turn order, you can close the factory after you've produced it for free. Well,
No.
as not for free, but as not costing you an action.
Right, it won't cost me an action, but it will still cost me the $300.
Correct.
And I may be thinking maybe the thing to do is to just say, okay, we can go with lost cube stuff. Let Mr. Sloan figure out the lost cubes and keep producing off of that factory. Since I've made my bed, I might as well lie in it. So I think I'm going to do exactly that and go with Mr. Sloan.
And apparently it is Durie, according to Shrey. So thank you, Shrey, for that. The goal of the game is to make money, right? And you make money by selling cars. So Howard is awfully tempting.
He does dig you out of problems.
If I had one more R&D cube, I would take Durant. because if I had one more R&D cube coupled with the one that I get for Durant, I would be able to go 1, 3, 6 for the National 40 for the luxury car.
Right.
And then use my distributors to sell them, right? But that is not the case. So since I don't have that extra R&D car, I hear selling cars is important. So Howard, my buddy, it will be.
I think I want to see where people end up. So I'm going to take my favorite Chrysler.
And if I take Durant, that's building someplace where I don't currently have a factory, correct?
That is correct.
And that would allow you, with that third cube, to go as far as the National 40. So making it all the way to there with your R&D cubes that you have. Or you could actually go backwards and spend no R&D cubes for the Oklahoma curved dash.
That
Again,
doesn't seem like a good idea.
might as well lean into it at this point.
No, I'm going to grab Ford. I think it's the time to be first.
All right, first action. It's all you, Craig.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm going to use my Ford power, though, and add a factory here for 300.
That is not an action. That's
Right,
just, you
that's
can
his
just do
special
that.
ability, right?
And let's see, that's going to be that.
So how many of y'all out there have never played automobile?
Somebody else is going to join me in the cheapos, I believe. But I'm going to put out another distributor. Okay.
And to note, Craig could have
Actually,
put it in
I'm do-
any of
I'm gonna
those.
put it
There you
there.
go.
I'm gonna
Okay,
put it
not
there.
just because he has
Yeah,
distributors
no,
there.
that's
Just
smart.
That would be the smart thing to do. So, I don't have a sense yet of where to push. If I'm going to go with a factory, then getting the mid-range is very crowded, so it'd be good to try and get into another range. The Ford Model T is quite attractive. If I get into the Ford Model T, it's a bit of a distance to push further up.
Yep.
And in addition to that, there's going to be, I think, people getting into the upper end. So that's certainly an argument to slip into the Ford Model T.
And on that note,
arena.
also the distributors, all of these are now open as well. So there's now 5 luxury, there's 6 mid-range, and there's 7 budget spots.
A
So
lot
keep
more
that in
room
mind.
for distributor
Right.
action.
Yep.
Which means it's likely I'm going to do some distributor action at some point as well. Do I want to do the distributor now and keep my powder dry on the factory? Well, then the question is, how valuable is this Ford Model T? If somebody else got in there, as I said, it's a long leap up to the Dodge 4. I'm thinking the Ford Model T would be a good place to be. So yeah, I think I'm going to take that. I'm going to do 350. So 400 out, 50 back. And I am going to place one of my beautiful factories, 1 or 2 factories. That's an interesting question.
By the way, to be clear, if you didn't, I was going to. So
I knew somebody was going to.
I think it's going to be 2 factories. So I'm going to put 700, so a 50.
you already
isn't
oh,
paid.
okay, never mind, you haven't. Okay.
So that's going to be 700 and go 2 factories. So I think in that lower end market, it's really just going to be me and Craig. So I might as well get much cars in there as possible.
So I have 2 realistic options ahead of me right now, I think. Wow.
Did I say Felix chime in there on the chat?
Yep, you did.
Felix, I may ask you what I should do on my next turn. Just, be ready.
I could open the National 40. Totally viable. The other option, given what I know,
I should have paid 3 R&D cubes.
is I think I'm going to go ahead and put out distributors, and I'm going to put out 3.
Trey just said three R&D cubes from Baldric.
So it's going to go 1, 2, 3.
He's on top of things.
Yep.
Yeah, I will say the peanut gallery is amazing for whenever we screw something up or
yeah.
forget. They are on the no, and it's not that. It's just
It's just like they.
it's awesome to have a peanut gallery when you play games in that regard.
Get a bit used to it.
Yep.
Yeah. The
Evening, Paul. Everybody else. Evening.
The cheaper cars are definitely a good investment because the next rounds, the higher tile's going to go to them. So.
Yep.
But I can't reach the next one, so I'm just going to put out 2 distributors as a stall.
Stall. All right. So we are now. I told
Action
Craig.
round.
Yeah, I was going to let him do it, and I'm doing it. Go ahead, Craig. It's all you.
Take a couple of R&D cubes.
No, I'm not going to take a couple R&D cubes.
Close your factory.
That's what Felix said.
I think
No, just
he
messing.
did not.
There's only 2 RD cubes.
Okay, I could get into the luxury market, but I never find that works well for me.
It's got the worst profit margin.
It does have the worst profit margin, and my parts factory is already gone.
There's something to be said about no competition.
Sure, but when I'm only going to produce 1, because I can only get 1 distributor up there, so that doesn't seem to be a particularly smart choice. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build a factory there for 400. Just 1.
Okay.
That'll be all.
All right, Sloan, you're up.
Okay, so I've done my
Hey.
factory building. I think that's probably enough. I really need to get into the distributor action. So, lots of distributors, but also lots of places for the distributors to go. I'm sure there's going to be somebody's going to go into the premium car market.
Hey, Tony. Check
And
your
even without
messages.
that, there's 6 slots in medium, and I'm in the low area as well, and there's 7 slots down there. I think it's time to hit distributors, and I'm going to go with 3 of them to make sure I've got lots of
Did you hire
distributor
back the
action.
slacker that got fired last round?
No, he got.
Terminated,
He didn't even get his steak knives. He was
terminated with prejudice.
exactly.
Put down the coffee.
Coffee is for closers.
Wow, this did not go at all how I envisioned. I'm green.
You are green.
You are.
But you're also Howard.
I'm aware. 8. Moment. 8. 12. I do have it, but then I don't have that. That's the problem. That would give me 4. It's 800. That would cost me 800. That's break even this round. What I'm debating is whether or not to go and build 2 factories for the National 40. My original plan, believe it or not, was to do the EMF 30. But then Craig went and screwed that up with the Thomas Flyer. So opening that one.
Sorry, not sorry?
900.
Never sorry for screwing up.
No,
Xbox.
I'm not.
Oh wait, that's a 500. I missed that. So hold on. 4, 8, 12, and I do have enough. Okay, stay on target, I guess. So 1 R&D cube, National 40 will be 800.
It's leading into Howard.
And that'll be 2 factories there. Done?
Mr. Chrysler.
I don't have any good options here.
Can't quite reach to dodge 4, so which way is he going to go?
I was only going to set the Glory to Rome's to 3.5 because we got 2 new people that haven't been on here, so call it 3.5. So
I should have delivered a Gloria Rome to the tile bag for the first round.
You could have also delivered it for
so
absolutely.
was that one?
I think so.
3.5 for. I think we're going to do more than that.
Okay, let's go 5.5. Now that Craig's on board with it, apparently.
If I can use it, as a suitable replacement for what I want to say, then it'll absolutely be 5.5.
I'll just do 1 luxury car. Do for the crane.
Oh, didn't see that coming
I
either.
did not either. Okay.
Not my favorite, but
Did you pay your cubes for that?
I did not.
Give me 3 of them.
Oh, yep. 1 and 2. Yep, there you go. And because it's 4-player, don't expect us to make it all the way around. We'll probably finish somewhere, my guess is somewhere around there because of the 4-player. So just FYI on that. So 3rd round, purple, Craig. I assume people are producing
I believe
cars
I
this
have to
round.
produce some cars.
You don't have to.
No, I do. I really do. Okay, so we're going to produce 3 Thomas Flyers. It's the latest technology. And so that's going to be $70. That's $210.
Drew, Martin is the most inexperienced, and this is his 4th play. The rest of us have half a dozen to 10 plays.
And Sears Auto Buggy. It's just Martin and I. Can crank out
5 to 9.
9. It's
of
going to be the
them.
lower of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, we could put 6 over there. I'm going to do. I'll split the difference and do 7. So 30. It's another
Weather
210.
says, me not playing yellows, throwing them out. Told you you were going to get it. Told you.
All right, I'm done.
All right, Sloan, assuming production as well.
Yes, it's definitely production, so another decision is how much. So it's Craig and me into the
Budget, and the lower
Budget.
value will be
lower value. I can't figure out what the average amount is going to be, but it's going to be less than 14. So, but we are going to be able to sell into here. That's going to make
Correct.
a bit of a difference. We're not going to get overly crowded on that. It's theoretically possible that one of us won't be able to get in there, but I suspect there'll be some action in the middle as well.
I think we got more spots open than distributors in there.
Yeah, so I think distributor-wise we're fairly okay. So I'm thinking, a couple of distributor slots.
this game is already playing out
5.
Very differently.
different than
yeah,
last
very
Saturday.
differently.
I could just follow what Craig does and go for 7, or just say, go for 8 on the basis that it's a little bit more. How much do they cost? They cost $50 each, don't they?
You could go as many as 9.
I could. I don't know that I want to go all the way up on the Model Ts. If I go 8, that will cost me $400. I think I'm going to go there. I reserve the right to change my mind once I've gone through the other one,
Sure.
because changing my mind is my prerogative. Because I have no idea what I'm doing, in case you haven't been able to tell that. Meanwhile, the mid-range, which is a pretty biffy area.
But it
So
is
to
going
be-
to be the higher.
It is the higher value, so
Yeah, it is the higher amount.
And
high
you got
value.
1, 2, 3,
Guess
6 distributor spots there too.
4 on average.
right about 4 on average, so 16 after distributors.
Yep. I think I'm going to go all out again with 7.
And with the parts factory, that's $50 a piece, so $350 for that.
350.
350 and 4 is 750 all day.
Yep.
Well, for me, obviously, I'm going to produce 4 of the luxuries, and that's a no-brainer.
V.
So what was that? 750.
Yep. And for the mid-range,
Bobby Brown reference.
2 of them will get sold before we actually get there. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What do I smell like today?
8, 6. I'm going to go with 7 as well. I'm going to feel froggy. That's one too many. And Scott, Chrysler.
Okay. I'm going to do 2 luxury cars for 200.
I gotcha.
Thank you. I'm going to pay that right now because I got to think about how many I want to do for the.
Oh, I didn't pay. 4 and 3, no, 7, 490, and 4 is 890. So that's 9. Get 10 back. Sorry.
Okay, so what's our total right now?
How much did you pay?
Mid-range?
890?
In total?
Yeah.
That's a little on the light side, I think.
Is it?
Each one of these. Oh no, you're right. You're right. Never mind. $70 a piece. I'm looking at 150.
No worries. As many mistakes as I make, you're fine.
Okay, so
I'd like you to pay more anyway.
how many mid-range cars do we have right now?
Right now we got 3.
7, 7, and 3.
So yeah,
17.
17.
I get.
Average of 4.
you got
so
some.
16.
Plenty of space to toss a few in there.
Yeah.
Max that out.
Go big.
15 plus
Go big or go home.
I prefer you don't go big, actually.
22.
You're first in the queue.
No, I'm not.
Actually, no. But he's only got 3 cars to sell.
Well, I'll go 6 since everybody else went 7 behind
All
me.
right, so 6 of them.
Yep.
No parts factory,
parts.
420.
Okay.
All right. Selling via Howard. That'll be those 2. Right there. Done.
Okay.
Sell via distributors, starting with purple.
Let's slide a distributor here.
All right, I will go 1 mid-range.
Here, green.
I'm going to go to the luxury.
Let's do another here. Oops.
I got you.
I'll spread things out a bit.
And another green mid-range, please.
I'm going to sell one of my mid-range.
And
Back to purple.
yeah, let's
That's all right. Keep forgetting to do that. It's kind of important.
And
This is the last luxury, or it's not getting sold.
And one last round. So purple,
1, 2,
red,
3,
green.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unless it were straight 2s.
Red.
As you say, 10, it would require. As long as as long as it's not straight 2s, that's a good
Yeah.
one, isn't it?
I think never mind.
But I'm going to go here anyway.
Mid-range, please. Oh, I needed that. All right.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so distributors are done. Executive decisions, purple.
I'm good. I'm going to pass and take first selection.
Rojo?
So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Average 16.
Looks like I'm going to require things to be very good on the dice, on the tiles, or
Discount.
or we go for a price war.
Cheapos.
Wow. So that puts the screws to me a little bit.
It does.
But I'm so far behind back there, I'm going to go ahead and close the factories.
So you're closing this one?
Yep.
Okay.
So those will come home. And I will get 300 minus 100 each, so 200 apiece. That's 400 bucks. And no lost cubes, more importantly.
And you get rid of half your lost cubes rounded up.
Right. Thank you. I forgot about that. When you do so, half rounded up, my 1, done.
This is why I'm wondering whether this is actually a Martin Wallace game.
That it rounds up.
Because it rounds up, that
Right.
just doesn't seem right.
You can always house rule that and make it meaner.
Oh, did I? Oh, hold on. Wait. Oh, I totally screwed up. How did I did screw. If you all allow me, I thought I was yellow.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
And put the mid-range back.
Yep.
Thanks. There you go. There's my first yellow mistake. I apologize. So, did that change anything, Martin, with yours? Because it's an
No.
extra car out there. Thanks. Yep.
Didn't alter my plans.
My bad.
I screwed up anyway because, but whatever. Because I was.
What are you doing over there,
Yeah.
Mr. Yellow?
Okay. Don't want to spend all my R&D cubes.
Don't know, Thomas. If we get a copy, we'll see. Okay. Anno 1800.
It hasn't. The English version should be out any time this month, I think. It's been super slow getting out.
Well, I don't want to get.
Heard a lot of good things about it, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
I don't want to get a nasty surprise, so I'm going to spend my 2 R&D cubes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so interesting.
I was surprised
That's
last
I'm already
time.
out. Back to red.
well, I guess I should step up for turn order.
Green.
Got to keep up with the Joneses. It's a closed factory, but it's an extra cell. So.
Okay. Yellow.
Out.
So back to me. Now you cannot put another white marker on the same factory, can
That's
you?
correct.
Correct.
But you could put a discount if you want.
That is
Yes.
correct.
You could.
But then they also let the discount price.
Understood. And how many do we have again? Sorry.
I see
3,
2,
6.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18. Average of 4.
So it's a little over average.
Yeah,
So-
it'd be a bit over average, yes, because you're getting the higher die.
But Martin wanted to sell the extra, which leads me to believe that he has a lower value. Well, and since I can let the cat out of the bag, that offsets me. So I think it's going to be he maybe has a 2 and a 3.
Felix, I absolutely think it could use some more meanness. I
Or
mean,
a
you're the one
3
who
and a
grumbles about
3.
Kanban not being mean enough in the second
8.
half.
And we said there were 16 out there, I'm sorry, or 18?
It's 18.
18. And I would be the one.
If given he's selling extra and your last last monkey in here.
What's worth? If I don't sell it, I lose 150 bucks. If I do sell it at 100, I lose.
250.
Yeah. Okay, we'll roll the dice. So, low value goes to budget, high value goes to mid-range.
All right.
All right, we'll start with the low ones.
Sure. There's 5. 7.
There's 11. They
I
all
believe
sell.
they all sell, yeah.
All right, so because they all sell, just going to empty, don't need to go through the motions of any of that because nobody put any discounts on it, so they all
There's
sell.
a fair number, more 2s than I thought there were going to be.
And now for the mid-range.
Looking for 18.
good.
5. There's 10. You guys are good.
Oh,
15.
18, they all sell.
Didn't
need the discount. Ah.
Oh, that's
Okay, so
sad.
now put all the regulars in a regular, right?
Oh, sorry. I moved my 2 from here. These all should go in there. So these slide down.
They go into regular.
Scott, why are
Yep.
these here? They should be in regular as well.
Yep.
These all slide down into regular, and these are
Go into
all
discount.
However, the one that he sold via distributor is
This
full
stays
value.
last
So
year's
there we
model.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that is technically
Factory
there.
recall.
takes your money.
Yeah, grab your money.
4, 5,
And
6,
green.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1,050.
It's 1,050 and 800, 1850. 1850, 2,050.
900 plus 400.
13.
1,300 even.
Yep, sold 15 cars, all of them at 100 except for one at 150, so I get 1550.
Go hand me my cars, please. Thank you.
There you go. Oop.
Colour that up.
Alright.
So there we are.
Lost cubes.
All right, so first off, discount here. Oh, I'm sorry, get our lost
Yeah,
cubes
get-
for this. So we have the most advanced here, so I'm going to get 1 lost cube for that, please. Then for the budget cars,
I'm
one
getting
for
one.
that. And then the mid-range, that's the most good there. So 1 for yellow, 2, nothing, and then 3 for red. And yellow gets 1. And then
Sloan can get rid of half.
Sloan half, rounded not in your favor, or in your favor,
Yep, so
sorry.
it gives me 4 lost cubes got rid of.
Okay,
is
and
nice.
then you have 3 left, so you owe 20 bucks a piece, you owe 60 bucks, and that's done. Chrysler, we're in the second round, gets rid of 2, or 1 in your case. And then pay what you owe for what you have left. I owe 20
I got
bucks,
20 bucks.
get 30 back. All right, then the main cubes need to go back. These markers, and we need new cubes. Out here, please. And 1 there. 2 there, sorry.
And these need to go back. Distributors slide. All right, we are on to turn 3.
There we go. So now the high value is going to be for the budget cars. The low value is going to be for the mid-range. And then we're just going to draw 1 tile, meaning the
Could be
luxury.
5, could be
2 to
2.
5. Yep. That's it. So first draw tiles. So purple. Hopefully all this is making sense. I'm at 2340 right now. Anybody else?
I'm at 12, 1320.
Okay.
I'm at 1650.
I'm at
Do me a favor, cap it at the 500, if you would.
Sure.
Please.
I'm at 2,110.
All right.
Leader in clubhouse.
All right, everybody look down for a minute. Here are my domain tiles. So low, mid-range, budget. Done. Okay. Purple. Choose your character.
I would like to go to Chrysler. Thank you.
Red.
Still don't.
Have a good night, Alan.
Trying to
Thanks,
stick with
Shrek.
Sloan on the basis that I do. Oh, it's the lowest rated factory. It is pumping away, and it does have the parts factory there, so it's a good producer. And Sloan, yeah, stick with Sloan. What's good for General Motors is good for us.
Okay, I am out of R&D cubes, so I'm going to go straight for Kittering.
Well, it's not good to be without any R&D cubes.
It is
Oh,
not.
well, I've got Sloan's R&D cube as well.
Well, you have lots of options.
I do. I have enough money. I kind of like the idea of being able to build an additional factory with Ford and going first. Actually, not a terrible thing. There are a bunch of R&D cubes over there with Craig. I imagine I'm going to have the third best luxury car by the end of this round. So, thinking out loud, Durant building a new factory would allow me to either go straight into the EMF for free as far as a R&D cubes, or being able to build an extra one with Ford since I have the money and going first. Kind of like that idea actually, so I'll go Ford. All right. So, first action, I kind of like that idea. Being able to go first really gives me availability to do things. So I'm going to probably regret my decision later on.
Oh.
Ooh.
So that's Ford's ability to build an extra. I could, theoretically though, hold off 1 second. I could build a third over for the luxury. No, we're going to stay on target. So that's going to be 1350. So that's 650 back.
Ooh.
Done.
Okay.
And I figure the next one's the Buick H, and realistically, the only one that can reach that is Craig.
Well, I probably don't have a huge incentive to get
He really doesn't, because right now he's second, so I thought that was safe.
I want to join the cheapo car market.
All right, Dodge 4 in play.
It's one R&D cube.
So that's 800.
800.
Good luck, Drew. Have a good one.
Well, I think it's time to get involved in the luxury car market then. Be a complete full service provider of your automotive needs.
And Craig.
Yeah.
Not incentivized to open a new factory. That's interesting.
I don't know what I should be doing here.
It's consistent.
Thank you. It was bothering
That was
me.
bothering me too. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even think about my turn until that got fixed. I'm gonna put out.
We're in round 3, so all the distributor spots are available, obviously.
I'm gonna put out a couple more distributors.
So
That's kind of a punt.
So to count, that's 6, 7, and 10. So 23 all day. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I'm green. I don't need to close any factories. So, I could put out distributors, or I could produce early. You know what? And I'm first. I'm going to produce, actually. So I'm going to produce, we're going to max it out, 11 and 4. So that's $1,170, which I don't have. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. So if I did 10 is 11, and I have what? 7, 8, 9. If I did 9.
Just take a loan.
I could. Well, a loan would cost me a total of $200, right? At this point.
Yes.
And those 2 cars would net me 160 total. And that would cost me 200, and they would produce twice probably. So actually it makes sense. I will do so. We'll take a loan, which is 500, but I'm not going to bother. So I said that was 1170. 5. That's 1170. And that produces. Good call on the loan. Thanks. Forgot.
It's not going to kill you this late in the game.
Right. So that's going to be 11 cars here. I'll straighten them out here in a minute. That's 7. That's 11. That's the wrong spot, I realized. Is it? No, that's right. And then 4. Done.
Mr. Yellow. We're on action round 2.
Candy pie.
He does have his. He's wetting his beak everywhere.
I think I'm going to lower my costs and put out. Now, this is as good as it gets for this. This is action round 2. I'm going to do. Oh, and I'm in loan territory too. Can't I make it pay for itself? It's $200. No, I don't think it would. I could make that work.
Okay.
I don't have enough distributor action going on.
And the fact that we're in the second round, putting out distributors and building the factory means no production, right? So.
Yep. So. I'm just going to put out a parts factory.
So 500 for that. Gusarino says Edward goes forward and then suddenly churns out hundreds of cars, and they say economic euros aren't thematic.
It's probably underpaying his workers too. Red.
Do
I produce now? I kind of think I'm ready to produce. I mean, that leaves me the last action as a flyer for later. So if I'm going to produce, I think I'm going to put together 2 here.
Which is the maximum. Okay.
Yep.
I'll keep a running total.
Pretty safe I'm going to be able to sell 2.
I like
I'm
it.
first in the sweep, and I can always knock
Yep.
1 up there, but even without knocking 1 up there, well, I'd need a 4, so I probably will knock 1 up there, but that's a fairly safe 2. Then things get more interesting. On the low end, there's 3 of us now in the game. They're producing more cheaply, but they can still. There's still a fair bit to go, I think. None of them have got 3 factories. They've only got 2 factories. So I think go with 6. I think
All right.
that would be
No,
perhaps.
no parts factory, so that's 300. You're at 500 right now.
Yep. And what to do with my bottom end range there? Edward's obviously pushing hard, but I'm going to go 6 again. And
6 with a parts factory is 300, so 800 all day.
Yep.
You got it.
And we'll see how that pans out.
And purple, Craig.
Yeah. Well, it kind of delayed my decision. That makes no sense. All right, I think.
So this is perhaps a good time for me to remind everybody that if you please hit the little thumb marker, that would be make us all very, very happy. Because as you know, we need your thumbs! So
Never not creepy.
make sure.
It's always creepy.
Help.
We're gonna add a 3rd factory here for 300. Ooh. Back over to green.
All right, a moment while I do some figuring. I know I'm putting out 2 distributors. The only question is, do I put out a 3rd? So a moment. I will. Done. Yellow?
I'm going to produce.
I'm shocked.
I'm actually get a tile this time. There's a luxury card. Somebody's ahead of me.
Yep.
It's gonna be a 2.
It is what it is. I'm still gonna do 2 of those. 200. And I'm gonna max out my cheap cars. So 9 times 3 is 280. So I owe 480. Cards.
It's $30 a piece. You said you're doing 9, so it's 270. You're at 470.
Oh, I get.
I got you. All right. So 470 so far.
Yep. And then the median cars, I'm going to do the minimum number.
There you go. Thanks.
So that is,
4?
Yeah.
So that's a 280. So 470 and 280. 6.
750.
750.
Not 710.
It is not. 710.
So
Smells like a loan.
or one less
Loan.
because that would be minus $30.
It'd have to be
2 less. You're right. It would have to be 2 less.
I'm going to do 2 less.
Okay. So let's do the math here. 7 of these at 30 apiece is 210, 410, 410, and 280 is 690.
Okay.
There you go.
That's under his
Good.
threshold.
Yep.
Red.
And you said 4 up there for the Maxwell Model L. Yep. All right, Red, what you doing?
Time to get in the distribution game, I think. So Edward's going to be. Where's he going to go? He's going to need to keep a couple into the upper area. then he's mostly going to be fighting in the mid-range, but he hasn't got any low range. I have low range, and Craig has low range. And Scott has low range, but he's not going to put many distributors down. He's only got one he's likely to put into the low range, and even then he's more likely to go mid, I'm thinking. So if I put 3 distributors down there, then that helps keep pressure on Edward, and I've got a little bit of relief valve on the pressure by heading down into the low range. And if I take lost cubes, I have Mr. Sloan to help with that. So I am going to put 3 distributors down.
And let's math that real quick. That's 4, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 23. That's how many spots there are.
Hopefully they're all equitably divided up.
Well, we'll see how that works.
All right,
Craig?
I have to produce, so...
Don't have to. I would like to point
I
out.
kind of do.
Okay.
All right, so I see 6. Scott, how many do you have over there? 7?
Yep.
So it's 13. Average,
And it's the higher
average
value.
is 16. And there's going to be 10 that are likely to get sold down there. So if I do 13 plus
I was gonna say
27.
9 is average if you produce 9 of them by that rationale.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to produce minimum 10.
We're going to produce 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right now I have
300.
Right, I'm just trying to set up
Okay,
add a few
sorry.
more. So what do we say? So it's 23. If we hit the average, we can go to 26. Well, let's split the difference. Let's do 12.
So that is 360 so far.
360, so let's take back 40. And how are we looking on mid-range? What's our count at the moment?
Mid-range, we have
A ton.
11,
12,
15, 21, 21, 2, 4, 6, 7 there. So 14,
And,
assuming they all get filled.
right, and we are on the low side. I'm just going to do... I'm going to do 3. You know what? I'm feeling lucky.
Max. All right, we are
70,
done.
that's 210. Yep.
Nobody took Howard. Distributor time. So, here we go. Starting with green. Pardon me. Here we go. We'll move the cars after we're done with all this.
That
That's
sounds
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, there's too many.
I actually go before you, but that's okay.
Yep, sorry.
There. Okay. Yellow.
Red.
Red. Green. Well, one's getting fired. Here's one. And red. And purple. And green. And yellow.
I'm up.
Okay, red. And purple. And me here. Just, this is how it's, there's 5 left. So
Yep,
yeah,
we're good.
There you go, yeah. So those will just get filled.
Going in here.
Oh, check that.
Well,
And-
I need to sell mine.
Fair enough. And that one gets me a lost cube.
All right, executive.
All right,
Put
well,
out-
hold
put
on.
out the
Let's go and
cars.
put out
Oh,
the
yeah.
cars. So
Right.
those 4 go. That one goes, and that one goes.
We need to.
All right, then mid-range, it's going to be 2 green, 2 yellow, 2 red, and a purple. And then the budget is going to be 5 purple and 4 red.
Okay.
All right, so now here we go. High one on the low on the budget.
Don't forget we have to do executive actions too.
decision.
I apologize.
But
My bad. I
still-
missed the step.
Can still put those out.
I suppose
That's
put the
true,
pressure on.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's higher number on the lower thing.
Yep. Okay, so executive decisions now, starting with yours truly. All right, and let's go through the math real quick. That's for the low end. We'll start with that. That's going to be 7, 8, 9,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15 left. And then for the high, or we will draw one at the end, but there are 2 left, so those are auto. You know what? Let's make that simple. These are going to sell.
They're automatically going to sell.
Because minimum
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
And then for the mid-range, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's unlikely to happen.
Very unlikely.
I'll go ahead and
Cheapos?
El Cheapos.
Double discount.
Yellow,
I think I can live through that.
red,
Yeah, those double discounts gonna make it painful for me. Do I want to put 2 cubes in to do a? That would be my cubes. That would be a lot. Or I could at least compete on the discount front on the basis that hey, I'm selling relatively cheap anyway.
You could also
Okay.
close the factory, don't forget.
Yeah, but you know, I've got Sloan, so I'm feeling closing the factory is
Fair
not
point.
necessarily something I need to do at this point. So, which way to go? I don't think I can leave it as it is, not last in the position and with Edward doing that, because that would be 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's not gonna.
You remember the price is
Not
going
gonna
up there
fly.
too that you have to pay for each cube.
Indeed, yes. But I don't think two research cubes is too much. I think I'm going to have to go discount. And I'm okay going discount.
Purple.
I'll spend 2. I seem to have a surfeit of those.
There you go.
Actually, not there. There.
And I will spend 1.
Ooh.
You're in the exact same position you were.
I am.
But now it only costs you 1 cube.
And a lot of money. Ouch.
Do I want to do the 1 cube? Is it worth it? Ooh. So basically, there's going to be 4,
in mind-
5, 6, 7, 8. Really looking like I'm only going to sell 1.
We're going to get what?
Glory to Rome. Sir.
That's 4 lost cubes if you keep that factory open. Keep that in mind. Sloan or no Sloan.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Plus whatever you get for your unsold
Cars.
Glory to Rome cars. Glory to
Yeah.
Romobiles.
You could do both. Keep that in mind, Martin. Theoretically.
theoretically. Yeah. It's going to be after this, isn't
Yep.
it? Not keen on the idea, but I'm going to do it.
Take me in the second spot.
No.
Do I do the factory close? The argument against the factory close is that I could produce in that factory next round and then close it. It'll be the last in turn order, which may not mean anything in terms of getting the extra factory close.
There's likely 1 or 2 of these that's going to open.
It is likely going to open, isn't it? No, I'm going to stick with my not closing the factory gambit.
That is aggressive. All right, let's see how it goes. All right.
First, let's draw. Well, we don't need to. Don't have to draw it.
Technically, we draw one for this. It doesn't matter what it is because they would have
Right, it would have
automatically
sold.
sold.
Unless there's a 1 in the bag.
I'm pretty sure there isn't.
That'd be
But
quite funny.
let's see what it is. It's a 1.
Or you just
Oh, you could have doubled that.
Yeah,
Wow.
here we go. 5. How many are there? Did we remember?
4 of each number.
No. How many cars for the
I
budget?
don't know, but I suspect we're in good shape.
It's 19. I think
I
they're
think it's
We're all
everything.
yeah. So
Right.
all of those will sell.
All right, so slide. There's 1, 2. Yeah,
These are
yeah, we're good.
They're all full
They're all-
value.
Yep, all full value.
So there you go. Okay. This is going to be painful. I have a feeling.
Certainly going to be
Well,
interesting.
that's bad. That's good. That's not.
That's 9. There's 12. All right, so here we go. Starting here, 4 of these sell into the budget one over there. So that's 4.
Here's 2 of these. 6.
Those are done. There's 6 left. 1 yellow and 3 of the reds.
Yep.
And
Oh, is that cheap?
Cheap.
Cheap. Sorry.
so how many is that?
Purple.
Sorry.
That was 1 yellow and 3 reds.
4, 5, 6, 7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
and there's a total of
12.
Ouch. Got a little aggressive, and that's it.
Yep.
That's all that sells.
Quality of rooms all around.
Yeah, so, all right, so lost cubes. So I get 3 for those. That hurt. So give me a disc. That's 5. Turn into.
Yeah, first disc.
Okay, then we got 1 purple over there.
Yep.
We got 1 yellow over there, and 1 red.
1 red.
I get a lost cube. Thank you.
Eat it.
Then for factories, this is the most advanced.
It is.
1, 2 of those. I'll take. Ouch. This is gonna hurt.
For the cheapos.
And so there, 1 for red, 2 for purple. And the mid-range, this is the furthest, so 1 for purple, 2 for yellow, 4 for red. Then, get your money minus your losses, right? And losses are $30 a piece.
2, 4, 6, 8.
That hurt.
Except I discard half of mine rounded up,
Yep.
which is very nice. There's 100 each.
17. 17 minus 210.
3,
1490. 1510. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
9 through 17.
And don't forget, I have to pay my loan, which is $50.
Wait, what is it?
So you gotta
30.
pay my lost cube.
So 120.
That's 120.
4 cubes, 30 each.
Okay, get rid of
120.
3 lost cubes
Hey, Vince.
because of Chrysler. And 2 left is $60.
I need 120 for my 4 cubes.
I'm going to make sure my math was right. 8 and 3 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 minus 210, 1490. I did right. All right.
Alright.
And you got all this?
Yep. Thank you.
You'll hand me the other ones, Scott, or Craig.
Which ones? Oh,
My
yep.
cars. And those, yeah.
Yep.
I need to same amount before losses.
Last game we had no discount cubes the entire game.
Those go on Chrysler.
Things have changed.
They very much have.
Where's the Sloan disc?
Oh, yes. There's one disc.
All right. Last round.
All right, so we draw one additional tile at the end for the budget cars. Okay.
The high tile's going for low.
Yep, drawn 2 again.
And who's next?
Purple.
Me.
Purple.
Green.
Next. If you all look down for a moment.
Okay.
So low value, mid value. Okay, good. Everything look right?
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
Yellow, choose your character.
I think I want to be Ford. Just so I can go earlier in the round this time.
Oh, what a different game this has been. Purple? Oh, and I'm at 1760.
I'm at 1930.
At 2040.
I'm at 15 and some change.
15.6.
Yep.
No, you're at 16.
Yeah, 1600. And one other thing, all the factories get sold at face value at the end of the game as well. So keep that in mind.
Okay, so I'm going to get
That are still open, obviously.
2, 3. It's probably going to be more, so I'm going to take Sloan.
Glory to Rome. I thought it would get to me once it got past Scott. Oh, it's me.
Mm.
Looks pretty intimidating with your black
Yeah, disc. Yeah,
discs
no.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
squares and everything all together. It's like, -27.
Oh,
over there.
that's not good for Martin.
Glory to Rome on you, Edward.
Well, I blame someone else.
Well, I'm just going with approximate cause of blame here. I don't need to be inventive. Chrysler was just, I was thinking, Chrysler is just what I need right now.
Not only that, you're stuck in the middle. You can't go first or last.
True. I'm not worried so much about that. I was thinking about my choices. So, what are my choices? Howard would give me a couple of sales, but I've only got one research cube, which is a problem. So, Kettering would help the research cube problem, but that's really all he does. Durham might be interesting. It would give me an extra factory move. If I were to take him, what factory would I open? Well, it would pretty much have to be here, which is not super exciting.
I mean, technically, the Oklahoma Curve Dash you could.
Which is even less exciting,
Fair.
to be quite honest with you. If I could have made the Buick H, that might be a touch more interesting, but on the that's a bit, otherwise a bit weak. Still, R&D cubes don't give you anything at the end of the game. I remember finishing the game on Saturday with a bunch of useless R&D cubes at the end of the game, which were just collecting dust. But going into the final round seriously under R&D'd seems a bit risky. But yeah, I think if Durant could have reached something more tasty, I would go with him. But otherwise, I think I'm going to have to go Kettering. Which at least gives me second in turn order.
All right, yellow.
I saw there were some open spaces for management out there. So I'm going to throw out a couple of distributors.
There's no
There
open
is no
spaces for
space.
management. How did you
There-
count?
yeah.
There's going to be a couple of people who are going to get canned.
Now there are.
And that's going to lead to another glory to Rome.
Well, someone's only got 5 distributors, and some other people have more, so it's not going to be me.
Red.
Oh, good. That was nice. Ah. So, I've got 3 actions. One of them will be a produce. At some point I might be tempted with a factory close. Although I'm second in line now, so if Ford doesn't close, I would get the freebie one, but I can't count on it. And he might be looking at this and thinking, I don't want the 2 cubes, but he would get from that. I can imagine not being terribly too nice. Exactly, and that's just currently. And has no idea what's going to come later. But of course I've only got 1 factory to apply with, assuming I still want to make some stuff from there. I could close now, and that would allow me to redeploy my parts factory. If I'm going to close, I could have closed earlier, which arguably would have been the wisest thing to do now. I was thinking I was going to produce on that.
Or you could produce your first turn, close it.
Could, but then it would make my next turns a bit more useless.
Yeah, you just want to be sure to do the math. You know, if you're going to close a factory, the lost cubes that you get rid of offset the $100.
Right.
Exactly.
Piece of wood.
And we know I've got 4, or probably 5 or even 6 lost cubes. So let's say these 2 get filled up and I end up with 6 lost cubes there. That's 6 times 40, which is 240, which is close to 300, but isn't actually equal to 300. So maybe it's worth doing it anyway, holding on to it and keeping going. At this point, I've kind of done that shot. I might as well lie in that bed, etc., etc.
Lie in that bed.
I think I'm going to line that bed. So, what to open? I think I do want to go with a factory. I've only got 1 I can go with. Where do I put it?
H kind of hurts.
Buick H, even though well, I'm going to get hurt anyway. So I'm going to go with Buick H. 500.
Purple.
And I'm going to use the pop to the restroom.
So that could get me more cheap.
I did not expect that.
What he did? Yeah, no, that's sort of out of left field.
There's going to be some lower your room going on.
That's weird. So I got 1, 2, 3.
Punch straight in the floor of your room.
It's a punch right to the rooms. 1, 2, 3. Holy cow. I should build a factory just on general principle.
Make your light 6.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to build 1 Studebaker Light 6.
Okay. I'll take another thing I did not anticipate. So he just bought that, Martin. No, not happening. I think I'm going to produce. So it's going to be 4 luxury.
That's 400? No, that's 800.
No, 400. Produce.
Right, 400.
And 8. 3, 6. 8 of these bad boys.
Okay.
I think. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
750 total. No, that's not right. 8 times 70. It's a lot more. That's it. Yeah.
It's 560, 960. I can't afford it, so maybe I don't produce yet.
You get lots of money over there.
I am not going to produce. I take that back. Sorry.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Is it worth it? I'll spend 500 for that.
Oh.
Done. We're into round 2.
Okay.
Got any shenanigans?
I do have some shenanigans. I'd love to put this one down.
You don't have. Oh, you do have enough cubes. You could.
Could do it.
It would just be hysterical.
I fully support something for comedic timing.
Well, first thing Ford is telling me to build this over here for $400.
Bread.
Well,
No, that was his
oh,
Ford
that's
action.
Ford.
That's
Oh,
his
sorry.
actual action.
I apologize. You're right.
Ford
That's his
gives us
freebie.
And that makes it interesting. I think we do production.
All right. So I assume you're going to produce some here.
Yep.
10 to 14. $30 a piece.
Felix, what did Felix say?
Let's do 12.
Oh.
12 things.
Yeah, I'd agree, Felix,
How
that
many?
the original's
12?
a better look on the table than the
12
than the
for
reprint,
30
which is just too dull.
is 360.
Thank you. 140 back.
And I got you. Go ahead.
There you go. And then I'm going to do 2 of the luxury cars.
Another 400. Sorry, 200.
200. Yep. And then the crazy medium car market. It hurt a little bit last time.
At this point, I think I can do that.
Thought we consult the Oracle.
It's an imperfect oracle, that's the problem.
Right?
Only a quarter of an oracle.
So let's build 5 cars.
5 mid-range.
Yep.
With no, that's 350.
Thank you. 150 back. And that's it for me.
Want to give me your mid-rangers?
I think that's right.
Wow, that's... Yes, it is.
All right, such yellow, red.
I think I will also go with produce at this point.
All right,
So, how much to produce?
max of 3 here.
Yeah, this mid-range is going to be interesting, isn't it?
That's a word.
Do I go 2 or do I go 3 on that one? There's going to be lots of selling going on, lots of stuff happening in there. Not much has been closed. This is going to produce a whole load. With seen a fair bit there. And I've got a feeling that's going to produce as well. So I think we'll just do a couple there.
Okay.
So those, yeah, so it's 140, isn't it?
Yep.
So those are expensive to produce.
1 or 2 here.
2 there. Pretty
340.
safe on that, 340.
And the budget ones, 5 to 9 of them.
340. Well, I'm going to go with 6. So that's 640, right?
Yeah. 640 so far. And
Now,
then
what to do with my little one there? 640.
Plant should have been shot in the head, taken up behind the barn and shot in the head 2 rounds ago.
No.
I mean, there are layoffs coming here. I can't believe it. The union is strong at that plant.
I'm producing.
lean into it.
I'm leaning in.
Leaning hard.
Absolutely. Lean in and lean in hard. That's what I want to do. So it will be 940. 940. And I'm not necessarily done yet. 940. So what's Scott likely to do with this choice? I think he's likely to close this plant. But if I'm wrong, where's he going to go? Maybe heavily into this one. I think he's probably not gonna. I'm not gonna discount on that one actually. 940, 990.
Yep.
In for a penny, in for a pounding.
990.
Here's your
okay.
dime back. There you go.
Here we go.
Purple.
Okay, I think I should produce. I'd like to. Yeah, I gotta produce. Okay. Let's deal with these first. So, how many does Scott have?
12.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Again, average is going to be 16.
The higher number, remember, but it's drawing extra.
18, 28. All right, we'll produce 10 here. I might amend that, but we'll start with 10. I'm going to stack these. I need some space. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Nope, 6.
6, 8. I can count.
And 10.
10. 30 bucks a piece, that's 300. Mid-range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's produce 3 up there. So that's what? 70 is 210.
The puns are strong.
I don't know why I just took thousands. That would make me
That seems like cheating.
really rich. And how many times are we going to go through? Let's produce 1 here. Done.
All right, so we're producing. So it's going to be 8 in the mid-range at 50 bucks a piece. That's 400. 404 is 800 total. Done.
Round 3.
All right, Yellow, what you got?
I've been thinking about this for a while.
Producing again?
I'm thinking, yeah, I gotta produce again. Just to make things interesting. are not overly interesting. I think Grant eliminated a lot of that stuff, so I am just going to produce one card.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
And red.
Get out the shotgun and shells.
So boring.
Close it.
I think I shall produce.
Wow. This is
Couple in there.
insane.
It's 200 buckaroos.
Wow.
You usually, at some point, you see some
Take care, James.
some crazy stuff.
This is gonna hurt a lot.
It's all about the pain.
I'm dying a slow death over here. More ways than once.
I don't want to produce any more. That one was I think a good one. Not sure whether upping my production anywhere else is going to really.
You get a discount
Good
over
idea.
here.
I do, and I'm not completely ruling it out. I mean, if I can maneuver things, that could cause some pain and misery. I like a bit of pain and misery.
What if it's self-inflicted?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. If it reflects back on myself. Throw a couple more in there.
Yeah.
So that's 100 more.
Yep.
Wow.
It's me.
Yeah.
That was worth it for Edward's reaction. I have no idea what's going to happen here, other than it's going to be
I thought you might have slow, but I see that's not the case.
pretty bad.
I do have Sloan.
Not you, Martin.
Oh, what?
I'm thinking they might
okay,
not
so
all
I could,
sell.
so it's 1,
They might not, but
Three.
they might. We'll see.
and that's going to be 1, 2,
Oh, I did have plans to do
3.
that,
So
but
that's
I
going to be
didn't know.
6.
Would you like to produce this?
No, God, no, I did not.
I think you're going to have 10 more than what the max of the
This is-
market could bear.
This is. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, there's going to be crying. There's absolutely.
And it's
Nobody's Howard this time, so there's no relief.
No, there's no. You're right. There's no relief
insane.
valve. I could see some stupid. Oh, there's only one person. It's just you,
There's stupid stuff everywhere.
and you don't.
Oh, this is gonna hurt a lot.
I'm just taking 2 R&D cubes. Punt. There's nothing else.
Ah, join the madness.
I had every intention of closing factories, or closing a factory, but it doesn't make sense. I don't think,
Yeah, I don't think it actually makes sense for you
because
at
it's
all.
$80 in lost cubes for that one, and I'm going to get more than, and I would be losing.
Sorry, I'm actually
200
before you. I actually am going to close this factory because
for 300.
Yeah, I think that's going to be more lost cubes than I
It is.
want to bear. Okay. No, I'm done. Yep.
I'm not producing. I'm not putting out.
Distributors?
Distributors, and I'm not closing a factory. So I'm not building a factory. I guess I'm punting on my turn. This is insane.
Okay. There's no Howard, but it's now time for
Yellow, go.
distributors.
Okay. Well, things are getting a little crazy, so I'm going to.
Let's take a spot here. Just it should be irritating.
Okay. Yellow.
I get in on this.
Red. Purple. Yellow.
Red.
Red.
That's bad.
Red. Purple. False start purple. Oh, damn it, I forgot about that.
Green.
I forgot you get rid of half your lost cubes when you close a factory.
I forgot about that as well.
Oh,
I should have done that.
Red.
Probably. Oh well.
yep, so should I have. That was huge. I totally forgot.
Green's got no place to go.
Gotta go your own.
Yeah, glory to Rome on those two clowns.
Yep, glory to Rome for that, and glory to Rome for forgetting
We're at 5. I told you, Derek.
about the lost cubes. That's why.
Yellow.
I totally
Yeah,
forgot about
yellow.
that.
Crack those two guys. We can just slide the ours. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
And that's why I went back and reconsidered mine.
I totally forgot about getting rid of. I'm an idiot.
All right, executive decisions.
Yellow.
Oh, we should slide the cars in for the distributors.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So we need a yellow, 2 reds, and 2 greens.
Hold on. 2 yellow,
No, yeah, 2 yellow. Sorry.
So here. Yeah.
Yep.
2 green, and 2 red.
2 reds.
Okay, here it's 2 purples.
1 yellow. 2 red,
I'm not cheap.
You are cheap, but
2 red, and 2 green.
and then
Then
1,
at
2,
the bottom
3.
it's 4 purples, 2 yellow, and 3 red. Okay, now executive decisions.
Starting with yellow.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's gone.
That was the obvious thing.
Yeah.
So you're
I took
getting
4.
700. You're
So
getting 500.
back.
I think.
Purple.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I get rid of half my lost cubes.
You do.
One, these 2 purples should not hit. Give me one over there.
Oh,
Took them from the wrong thing. I was like, those numbers don't add up.
gotcha. Can't believe I forgot that. And yellow.
Okay, so
You want to pass for a turn order?
I do not.
Okay.
Sheepos?
It's the crazier market. The mediums are gone insane. I just need to do a quick count of
You want to count mediums or cheapos?
cheapos.
You have 1, 2, you have 10 there, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Average is 16 plus a tile.
So 18, and I'm at the front of it. I probably don't care as much. So I will buy the last one just so somebody else can
Oh,
get
absolutely.
it. And put it on my mediums.
Okay. Red.
6 lost.
I don't think I want to discount anything to it, so I won't.
So red's dropping.
Yep.
Purple's out. Yes. Yes. Back to yellow.
I gotta drop and just hope.
And I can't do anything else.
That's
Can't discount the luxury.
correct.
bigger number on the bottom. All right, luxury.
Draw
Needs-
a tile.
Need to draw tiles. Yeah.
Tile for luge.
All right. Well, first, hold on. We'll draw the extra for the low.
Okay, here's the low.
That one right there needs to be a 5. I need it to be a 5.
I'm happy with a 4.
A 2 would be great.
2 would be awesome.
Go ahead. We're gonna get to 6. Right now, it's a push on the glory
That one
rounds.
sells,
Yeah.
and that one sells. So that's $480 right there.
Ouch.
I also take a lost cube.
Two more.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, I don't know why I put 2 on there. For some reason, it made sense at the time, and 1 would have been a good number.
Let's
Ouch.
flip the
I
mids.
didn't realise
Oh,
until
no,
it's too
no,
late.
no.
Oh, do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll drag out my pain.
5.
The big numbers were here, right?
Supposed to be there.
Well, then hold on.
That's nice.
That was mine. Yep. That clearly is going to be the case. And yep. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh!
Let's do the low. That's 19.
Right.
4, 8, 10.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 1's not going to sell, and it's
Okay.
going to be Scott's.
I think so.
No, it might
no,
not.
no.
Hold on. So here. So
No.
1.
No, maybe, yeah. I think you're right.
No, 2,
Sorry. Yep.
3, 4.
That's
Yeah.
4. Go.
It's gotta be me.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
That's straight up me.
9, 10, 11, 12, and 6 more.
Yep.
So Scott gets a lost cube.
Ouch.
Oh, just wait.
It's
That's 10.
It is.
1, 2,
3, 4, 5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7, 8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10.
Discount.
Discount.
All right. So that's a loss. That's a loss. This is, I might end up losing money in this game for the first time ever. 3 more here.
You're looking for a.
This is painful.
Yeah.
2 there for yellow,
That was as
and that'll
bad.
be 4 more for red
That was as bad a round
as I've ever seen
Yeah.
in this game. Okay, so lost cube. So here we go. From here, nothing. 1 for red, 2 for green, 4 for purple.
No, we're on.
Nope, sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6 for red. This is comical.
Cheapies.
Nothing. 1 for red and 2 for purple. And then the good ones, nothing. 1 for yellow, 2 for green. Here you go. So I have 18 lost cubes. That's got to be a record.
17.
Now I should have 6 less to my, because I should have closed, and
Yeah.
then I would have got rid of 4
I
and
should
then
have closed
not
as well.
taken
Yeah.
2. So
I did the math wrong because I was just thinking of the cost here. I was forgetting I could have half the lost,
Well, takes your money.
lost cubes. So
I don't think I actually make
I
one.
forgot that.
450.
I'm green. 2, 4,
That's 1,000.
7, 8. That's 1,000.
50.
Sorry.
That's okay.
18 times 4. Oh, Jesus. 18 times 40, that's 720.
50.
2, 4, 7, 1,000. I made 280
1950.
bucks. This is unbelievable in the last round of this game. It's believable.
All right.
Alright, so
That's, okay, then we're going to sell factories, okay?
well, first you gotta
do your losses
You
first.
gotta pay your lost cubes.
I already
Oh,
did.
yeah.
All right, so
Then
Sloan
you gotta
dumps
pay your loan.
3 of them.
All right. So
40
I owe
apiece.
I owe 80.
I owe $650. I owe $700. I get $50 back.
I gotta pay my stuff. So 6 times
Before
4.
I have $70 before I get money from my factories.
That's not good.
That's less than ideal.
That's not good.
Let's go.
6 times 4.
Oh,
240.
you're right. I do have
Right.
Chrysler. I forgot. So I get rid 4
4 of them.
160 back.
Yep.
160. Make it 210. Okay. So I have 230 before. That
So
is
I paid my cubes.
bad.
Ready to sell some factories?
All right, so here we go. Purple, 550. Hold on, we'll do it all at once. So purple, 550, and then 9 and 14, 1950 total for purple. And there you go. Red is at 5, and I'm sorry, red. I apologize.
Yep.
5. That's 1,000. 1,700, and then 17 and
That's 19,
17
24.
and 9, 26.
24.
That's 5.
Yes.
19, 24,
24.
25, 26, 27, 28. Don't. 1,000,
Yeah.
1,700,
Yeah. 17.
22 for the
Oh, yeah.
parts factory.
Sorry, yeah.
22 and
4
4
is
more.
26.
26.
26. Okay.
Yellow, you're looking at 12 and 5 is 17.
2150.
2150 for yellow. And I'm looking at, what is that? That's 9, 13. 13 and 1350 is 2650.
You're going to pit me.
I think I get lap 23, 20, 2880. Next, anybody?
4530. Scott's got 4750.
3, 35, 39, 39, 4,010?
Yep.
Yep, 4,010 for Martin. Scott. All right, so what are the totals, Martin?
So Scott said 37.50, you said?
The 4750.
Oh, 47.50. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was good. So Edward's 2080, Scott 47.50, Craig 45.30, and me 40.10.
So 2880, I would like to clarify. So I made $880 after all that. I was in such good position, and then I crashed so bad. That was bad. All right, so thoughts on the game. Craig, start with you.
It's a great game.
Yeah?
That was a disastrous last round for several people.
Hi.
I didn't do too well either.
I was actually surprised you picked me. I didn't think you were going to. How many lost cubes did you have last round?
I had 4 going into it, and then when I closed the factory, I had 2, and then with the accumulation of all the stuff, I had I think 6 total. So I had to pay the.
Wow, how much?
240?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess you had higher. You had more.
Yep.
You had higher, more expensive factories, so you got more money back on you. That was the
And I was
difference.
making a great profit margin on the one over here. I think it's this one or this one.
Yeah,
It
it was
that one.
a
Yeah, no,
Dodge 4.
that's
yeah.
where you and I made all our money.
Yeah,
Was on
yeah, on
the
those,
cheapos.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts on the game. Go for it. Just in general, automobile or our particular disaster. of
It
the
needs to be
game.
played more.
I agree.
People need to play this game more,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and it needs a
It was-
reprint.
I'm ready to play
A
again.
better looking reprint.
This is the first game I've ever played of this where the Duria was open from beginning to the end. I have never ever seen that.
Nor have I.
What the hell? I should have closed it. I completely forgot that you took off your lost cubes.
Same. I dropped the ball on that. I would have said something if I had thought of it because it would have helped me too. But yeah, I'm thinking at the end of the third round you should have closed it.
Absolutely, I should have. But
Yep.
but I guess I was just doing the math and thinking, oh well, I'm going to get 640s. It's 240 compared to 300 if I
Yep.
close. So I might as well leave it open.
But the lost cubes.
But the lost
getting rid of-
cubes
that
kind of
is-
alter the math.
In all the games I've seen, usually it's closed by the end of round 2 at the latest.
Yeah.
'Cause people-
Round 3 at the extreme end. But yes.
I was inclined to keep it going because it had the factory, right? The parts factory. So I was
you
happy
could
to
have
kind of
rebuilt
keeping
it.
it. I could have done, but yeah, I was inclined to try and push it.
Once you produce 5 cars, you made your money back.
Yeah, but
All those who would have closed it,
the
raise your
half the lost
hand.
cubes thing makes
Yeah,
a
it
difference.
makes
All those who wouldn't know.
you're right. That's the rub. That's the key is not forgetting that. I agree on a reprint. I think it would be wonderful if this got a reprint. On that note, a couple of things. If anybody, not that I think they look to us or anything for this, but 2 things that I think are important are putting out there somewhere out here on the board about the lost cubes whenever you close a factory. Also, we have to keep counting how many of these are because, well, at least I do. So it'd be nice to have a little number next to how many there are or a total number of those,
I would,
right?
yeah, and I was
4.
thinking,
'Cause
not
it's-
so much for these, but yes, those work
Yeah.
too. But it'd also be good to have a running tally of how many of each car are
to have like a track of,
right.
oh,
Because
there
or
are
like, okay, so I
23.
produced 10, I'm going to set it at 10. You added 10,
I agree.
because otherwise you're like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You're just constantly recounting.
Right.
And one other thing I would
Yeah.
say would be the word discount on these 2 spots, because every time you play this game, the first thing that everybody always asks is, what are those 2 spots for?
Yep, agreed. So yeah, I think I definitely think a reminder about the lost cubes on the board, so it's obvious for closing a factory. I like the discount idea, and also that about a running total. I think is a good idea.
I would actually have flipped. I would have done like 2, 151, and then had the discount for these 2 sort of separate.
Off to the side. I
Discount
agree.
sales, yeah, just so-
so.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a huge amount that could be done. I think with some decent graphic design. On
And
that.
Right.
something besides different shades of brown, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Make it.
Agreed.
That's a good game.
But yeah, I would argue that let's take Age of Steam out of the question because dispute is it Martin Wallace, not whatever. Outside of that, there's brass, this.
Studying Emerald, perhaps.
I don't think
I
that.
haven't
Yeah,
played enough
right.
of it to tell yet.
But I would argue I think I might like this more than brass.
Oh, it's tough.
It's close. is
Kind of depends on my
argument.
mood, but
I think that's a fair
1
statement.
and
Yeah.
1A. And I put brass and Age of Industry sort of in their same like bucket together
Okay.
because they're ridiculously similar. It's just you're playing on different maps with sort of a different rule set like Power Grid.
Beer. You get beer.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
Birmingham. That's
and I do
not-
like
yeah.
Birmingham better than Lancashire.
Yeah, it's
but
kind of marked.
It's really 1 and 1A.
But yeah, so yeah, get this reprinted, somebody. That'd be great.
Yeah, what I really like about this is it's a game that, I mean, most Euro games you want to produce as much as you can, right? You hardly ever penalise for overproduction. In this game, it's a different story, as we
Right, because
nicely saw.
overproduction
You've gotta
can really bite you in the.
Yeah, you've got to judge it much more, and if you're over aggressive on producing stuff, some of us were, then it can really hurt you. And I like that. It's not a decision that you commonly run into. In
Normally,
a
you
lot of these
just
games.
produce. It's
Yeah.
a non-thought. You just
Yeah.
get what you get here. That is the crux of the game, right? Or
Yeah.
one of the cruxes of the game.
Demand is a huge deal, which, yeah, like you said, normally it's not. You don't have to try to predict demand.
And you don't know in the real world what the demand for a certain model of car is going to be. So thematically, it also makes sense, right? So, but yeah,
I also really like this track. Because you you're encouraged to push forwards in order to get up the position, but then as you go up the position, you're enabling other people to jump ahead of you, and the prices are going up, and the factories that you produce. I mean, that's a there's some really interesting stuff around not
Yeah.
jostling around this.
Yep.
You know, as you go back, of course, you get the lost cubes. So do you
Yeah.
close or not? I mean, there's a really interesting tech. It's not a tech tree, obviously, it's a tech track. But so many Euro games have temple tracks and things that you go up and up and up, and it's kind of not interesting.
Someone mentioned
this
Roxley.
Is really interesting.
Roxley would I think do a nice job with this, given what they did with Brass.
There is an ex-Mayfair employee, I believe, who has the rights to this, and he did post something on BGG about a year or 2 years ago about saying, yeah, he's interested in trying to get something put together, and then it's crickets.
Then a pandemic hit.
Yeah,
So-
that and pandemic, of course. So, but yeah, this game really does need to live. It's such a good game.
One other thing I wanted to,
Yeah.
you brought up about how the tech tree and stuff going around. What are the different things? It's like if you go further forward, you might be hurting yourself, but if you go far enough, you might be able to protect your own market, so you're the only person in there, so there's no competition, which can make your game a lot more relaxed.
That is
Like
interesting.
if you can corner like the luxury cars, or early on you get the first two cheap cars, you can sit pretty for a while.
Yeah, because you got a ways before that. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
And this use of the characters with the turn order, I think, is really nice. So that you've got the different abilities, but also it affects the turn order. And of course, manipulating turn order is something I always like in a game, and that's just a very nifty way of doing the turn order manipulation.
Agreed. All right, so that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Certainly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that stuff if you are so inclined. Certainly appreciate it. We're recording a podcast tomorrow afternoon.
Indeed we are.
So join us tomorrow about 2 p.m.-ish. Live. It's not going to be available afterwards, but the podcast itself will be available, obviously. So join us for that if you want. Get a behind-the-scenes peek. Otherwise, be back in the future with more streams. So I'm Edward.
Scott?
I'm Craig.
And I'm Martin.
Y'all have a great night. Be kind to one another. Take care, everybody. Well done. Thanks for the whooping. 18 lost cubes has got to be a record. It's got to be.
I was thinking 17 was going to win it for me, but nope.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Should have.
I thought for sure you were going to get all the lost cubes. I was like,